Loves Unboxed.
That's our move. A new season of women's college hoops on the networks of ESPN.
Welcome back into the Ryan Center. Rhode Island with a 5-point lead over Princeton, just about 2.5 minutes away from second half action. For more on the game, we'll send it down to the third member of our broadcast team, Chris Ward.
Thanks, Nathan. This first half charge for the Rams can be credited to guard Dee Davis. Not only has she tied her season high with 14 points, but she's also made her first three-pointers of the season with 3 behind the arc. While playing at Manhattan College, she had a career high of 8 three-pointers made against the Fairfield Stags in March of 2022. Looking at the box score today, she's got 14 points on 55% for the field, along with the 3 threes that I had mentioned. Guys, goes without saying that Dee Davis is having a day for herself. Back to you.
Absolutely, Chris. Thanks so much. Davis, the star of the first half, to transfer from Manhattan College, one of 2 in the starting 5 for Tammy Reese, and she has lit up the court of the Ryan Center so far tonight as Tammy Reese and her squad in search of their first win against a ranked opponent. Zach, we talked about it 2 games ago, went up against NC State, ranked number 14, fell in what ended up being a close game, led them for more than a half an hour and more than 3 quarters, but ultimately did not come away with the win. Well, they lead here today at halftime. What are they going to have to do or continue doing here to pick up the result they need?
What they continue to do and what Tammy Reese continues to preach is defense and rebounding. Just continue to play and do the fundamentals, the rebounding, and she has preached over her 5 years here that that's going to be the way to win games. And Rhode Island, they did not score well against NC State in that fourth quarter. They're going to need to continue this hot shooting. Obviously, I mentioned they've been struggling from beyond the arc this year, but tonight, shooting 5 for 12, 42%. They need to continue to get the ball to the premier shooters, and Sophie Phillips, Dee Davis, who has the hot hands.
Absolutely, Zach. You mentioned rebounding as an important factor. Well, Princeton actually had both in total rebounds and defensive rebounds, but it is close. 22 to 19 total and 18 to 15 on the defensive glass. But as we mentioned at the half, it's the points off the turnovers that are killing the Tigers right now. Rhode Island with 9 points from 5 Tigers turnovers, and the Tigers yet to record a point off of only 1 Rhode Island turnover, and that is largely responsible here for the 27-22 lead. Again, Princeton are out-rebounding Rhode Island, not by much, and they are also out-shooting Rhode Island 31% to 29% from the field. 8 for 26 for the Tigers, 9 for 31 from Rhode Island as we went through at the half. But it is Rhode Island who lead on the most important number on the box score is the score. 10 minutes on the clock for quarter number 3. We are just about ready for action. It's been an exciting one so far at the Ryan Center, Zach. It's been an exciting weekend of Rhode Island basketball overall, and it doesn't end here on Wednesday. The Rams head to Providence. The Rhode Island women head to Providence for the second meeting between the 2 schools in 4 days. And the Rhode Island men here on that same day to face Brown. So another exciting day of in-state rivalry action set. But before that, second half action from the Ryan Center is underway. We are getting going with Dee Davis, again the points leader on the afternoon. 27-22 is the score. The Rams lead the Tigers. Here's Maya Torre. To Hyman in the paint for Magasa. Spins around, layup is good. Rhode Island strike first in the second half.
And so, you mentioned Tisha Hyman back in as the starters in for Rhode Island. Hyman only 6 minutes so far, rare for her, as she's become a key player for this Rhode Island team.
Mitchell had a lot of space beyond the arc, instead handed it off to St. Rose, and now gets it back. Now goes for 3, it's good. Or it's only a 2-point basket, excuse me. It was a little bit blocked there, but she was just inside the arc. It was a deep 2-point effort, but still Princeton able to respond here early in the second half. Tisha Hyman. Phillips now almost drops it, gets it back to Davis. Finds Phillips. Inside for Magasa. Magasa trying to get around 1, can't do it. Fouling her was Parker Hill, so the shot doesn't go up, but she'll step up for a foul.
So the Rams trying to get it to Tenon Magasa, who is 1 for 1 on the day. Also only 7 minutes so far tonight. They're trying to get it to her because of that size and strength that she has, and has been so important for the Rams team, especially since coming back from injury last year.
12 for 19 on the year so far from the free throw line. Has not stepped up yet tonight, and she sinks her first.
That's another thing, Nathan. You asked me what is going to be the keys here in this game, and it's also free throw shooting. The Rams are now 5 for 6 on the night. not getting to the line as much as Quinnipiac, but when they get there, they need to be efficient, and so far they have.
Magassa 2 for 2 to start the half. 24-31, the Tigers trail the Rams. Mitchell with the ball at the free throw line, hands it off to St. Rose, gets around Torre and puts it up, but can't find the shot. It falls back and she collects her own rebound. Here's Hill. Up, no good. Mitchell and Torre fighting for the rebound, and it eventually goes out off the hands of Ellie Mitchell for a Rhode Island ball. So it's turned over, no shot from the Tigers. 31-24, 8.5 left to go. Hyman to Davis. Magassa now hands it off to Sophie Phillips, who gets it back to Davis. Cross court to Hyman. Quickly guarded by Chen. Hyman hands it back off to Phillips. St. Rose on her. Bounce pass in the paint, looking for Torre. Can't find her. Now it comes the other way, down for Chen. Gets around Hyman and puts up the layup.
So Tisha Hyman getting an earful from Tammy Reese after the offensive possession.
Defense into offense, turning efficiently for the Tigers. It's now a 31-26 lead for Rhode Island. Here's Phillips to Davis. Gets around one, contested shot mid-range, no good, off the rim. And the rebound eventually won by Mitchell. Here's Chen. Caitlin Chen puts it up, 2-point effort, good. Nothing but net. And Princeton are putting together a little run here to start the second half.
Caitlin Chen can just not let her get space. Ivy League Player of the Year last year, averaging 17.6 points per game. They've held her pretty well so far. Only 5 to her name, but you know she can break out whenever.
Sneaky pass from Davis inside for Magassa. Can't get through a pair of defenders. And we'll take another look. Down at the other end, it was the Caitlin Chen jumper from just beyond the stripe. Puts it up, gets a step, finds the space. No problem for her. Rhode Island have not scored a field goal in the last 2.5 minutes.
And Chen's accolades, I mean, as I mentioned, Ivy League Player of the Year, first team All-Ivy. She's the Ivy League Tournament Most Outstanding Player in 2022 and 2023. Part of that All-Tournament team. She's been Player of the Week, and she's been Tournament Player, Outstanding Player at Sophie Phillips. She reigns a 3.
Third of the night, it has many attempts for Sophie Phillips. Under contest finds it. And Rhode Island have another 3-point effort, stretches the lead to 34-28.
And we mentioned Sophie Phillips and the Rams starting slow this year from behind the arc, and Phillips starting to find her range now.
St. Rose into the paint, gets 2 back for the Tigers. 4-point game once again. D.D. Davis, Tisha Hyman. Trying to get around Chen. She kicks it back to Torre and resets for Davis. Goes herself, right side, layup no good. Torre fighting for the rebound, won by Chen. Now here come the Tigers. Down the right side, guarded by Hyman. Gets around, similar jumper, again it's good. 2 identical plays from Caitlin Chen, and Princeton bring this one back within 2.
So Caitlin Chen, I mentioned, just cannot let her create any separation. She's just on transition, going in, takes a step towards the free throw line near the elbow, and she's trained them both here in quarter number 3.
Torre gets around Parker Hill, but can't put up the shot. It comes off the rim, and again, here is Caitlin Chen with the rebound. Hyman, who has had a handful defending her tonight, and does just enough there as Princeton fall out of bounds. It'll stay with them. It is a foul on Awa Kamara.
Checking back in for the Tigers is number 25, Chen Nowicki. Checking back in for Rhode is Anand DeBras. She replaces.
We'll take a look at the jumper from Caitlin Chen again. Zach, very similar position to her last one, and a similar outcome as well. Princeton are 4 of their last 5 from the field, and Chen up to 7 points on the afternoon. 3 for 7 from the field, and leads all Tigers. Phillips is going to tip away the inbound. It'll come back to the Princeton Tigers.
Checking back in for Rhode is Lieutenant Magassa.
We've talked about Sophie Phillips' development last year, just being a much better player from her freshman to sophomore year. And Tammy Reese has talked about the sneaky defense she has because of her length, and you can see it there, portion of the inbound.
Magassa working on Nowicki and can't do it. DeBras in now. Finds Davis. She'll go for three. And again, nothing but net. D.D. Davis, incredible performance.
So
Fourth
D.D.
of
Davis,
the day.
just the high arc three-pointer is working perfectly for her, and she's really found it now.
As Chris mentioned to us beforehand, Zach, that now a career high in three-point efforts in one game. 4 for her. She goes again in the paint. Again, she gets it. And D.D. Davis cannot be stopped. We'll head into a timeout. She's up to 17 points. It's a 39-32 Rhode Island lead. We'll be right back. ESPN Plus, don't go anywhere with the final 5 of the third quarter. Up to a season-high 19. Finds Magassa inside. And she's going to get called for the foul on Paige Morgan.
Offensive foul charge number 4, Tevin Magassa. Third personal, team second.
So, Zach, we were looking at the stats. We'll take a look at the Davis 3, and we'll head it to break. ESPN Plus. We'll be right back. Rhode Island in charge.
Sorry it's been a while. I've been so busy and there's always so much to do here. I'm just staying present and taking it all in. I'm learning a lot. Classes have been challenging, but I have some really great people helping me figure it out. Anything's possible here. I just wanted to check in and let you know that I'm finding my place, just like you said I would.
See friends, see food, see view. The Coast Guard House Restaurant.
Step into the world of Atlantic 10 basketball. Witness the nation's finest women athletes rise to greatness under the brightest lights. Feel the rush of adrenaline. Embrace the thrill of competition. Here, you'll find champions on the court and winners in the classroom, embodying what it means to be a true student athlete. Experience A10 women's basketball, where passion meets excellence.
Say hello to a new way to ride Rhode. The Wave Smart Card and mobile app are here, and they're making your ride easier and safer. At a time when public health and safety is so critical, we're excited to bring a completely contactless experience to our riders. Simply scan the Wave app or hold the Wave card near the reader, and you're ready to board. It's that easy.
I'm waving goodbye to pocket change.
I'm waving goodbye to lost fare products.
I'm waving hello to Ripta.
Download the app or sign up today at ripta.com/wave.
Back outside the timeout, Princeton get us started. They trail by 7 to Rhode Island in Kingston. Welcome back into the Ryan Center. Nathan Robillard alongside Zach Petrick. Chen gets it to Mitchell. Mitchell guarded by Kamara. Finds St. Rose outside the arc. Looking for options. Guarded by Hyman. Hands it off. Now Mitchell gets it back. Kicked out to St. Rose, who loses it, but picking it up is Belker. Belker trying to find her way around DeBraz, working on her free throw, contested shot off the rim, and no good. DeBraz gets the rebound from Torre, and now Torre's off in space, it's good! Breakout point for Maya Torre, and Rhode Island up by 9.
Well, that all started because Princeton is trying to move the ball almost a little bit too quickly, passing it around, they kept losing it, and then Rhode Island transition offense, perfect from DeBraz over to Torre.
9-point lead, matching the largest of the afternoon for either team. Belker goes up, no good, and rebound 1 by Mitchell. Hands it off to Belker again. Her 3-point effort, again no good. And here come Rhode Island, a chance now to stretch the lead to double digits for the first time all game. Here's Torre to Hyman. Hyman working on St. Rose, spins back to Davis. Davis trying to work on Mitchell, gets it out to DeBras. And Rhode Island will take their time here, 10 to shoot. DeBras looking for a way through, still can't find it. Davis is open from 3, and finally it seems for the first time she misses it. Princeton sigh relief there. For a while, Zach, seemed like everything she was touching was finding the net. And as a result, she's up to a season-high 19 points. Cannot find that latest effort. Hyman hands it off to DeBras, and now Davis gets it back.
Now it's 3 to shoot. They might just... Offense just could not get it going there. Seemed as if they thought they had more time to really set it up.
Yeah, passing quickly around the outside, but Princeton played good defense. Rams couldn't even get a shot off before the shot clock expired. Torre couldn't get enough of an open look. Again, Davis was able to throw up a 3 in the possession, but didn't make it. It is still a 9-point lead for the Rams, 41-32. Princeton now with a chance to cut that down. Mitchell. No one covering her. She says, I'll go for it, and misses. Now coming down the other way, looking for Torre, and she can't replicate the success from a pair of possessions ago. Lets it just go a little bit too far. The pass couldn't quite find her. It goes after a Tigers ball. They move it up quickly as Chen finds St. Rose. Hyman and Torre in the paint to guard. The pass on the outside finds Chia. Chia to St. Rose. 3-point effort over Davis is good.
That was in the face of Davis. Long 3. And so St. Rose quiets the Rhode crowd a little bit and cuts the deficit to 6.
Only their second 3-point made basket of the night. Davis to Kamara. DeBras was looking for presumably Torre, eventually finds her. St. Rose got a hand on it, but couldn't collect it. Torre misses, and the rebound collected and brought down the other way by Princeton. Now in the paint, Mitchell finds it, good.
And Torre had hit the deck. And Tammy Reese will take a timeout, so Torre couldn't get back for defense. And so Tammy Reese will take a timeout as she lectures her team, really, what seemed to be pointing at the shot clock.
Rhode Island's scoring drought just 2 seconds shy of 2.5 minutes. Princeton on the other end, 2 of their last 10. So neither team shooting tremendously, Zach, in this half. Princeton up to 35% from the field throughout the game. Rhode Island not far behind at 34. We'll take a look at the visitors, their last 2 buckets. It was St. Rose who sunk that 3 right over Dee Davis. Had a hand in her face. She didn't care. And then it was Mitchell in the paint doing the work, getting up over DeBras. And the last bucket from Parker Hill. So the Tigers doing a little bit of work in the second half to try and cut down this lead, and they've done so. It's back down to 4 points, as was as high as 9. And now we're outside of the timeout. Sophie Phillips getting set to check in at the scorer's table, but we're back underway. Here's Dee Davis. Hyman to Davis. Looking to break the 2.5 minute scoring drought here from the field. Hyman now gets it back. Guarded by Chen. Screen set by Kamara. And illegally in the eyes of the referee. She does not like the call, but it'll go Princeton's way. Kamara commits the foul. And now Dee Davis will see the bench in pace of Sophie Phillips. The 2 top scorers tonight. Phillips with 11, Davis with 19. That's a season high for her. St. Rose. Screen set by Hill. She gets around it, but guarded by Hyman. Puts it up herself and finds the rim. Can't quite find it or get it to dribble in. And Kamara collects the rebound, spins around Rose, and bounces it back to DeBras, who crosses the logo.
Rhode Island, 4 turnovers in the last 4 minutes, 3 in the last 3 minutes. So just struggling to hold possessions, and that's not a good shot selection from DeBras.
Only had 1 turnover in the first half. Now 44 seconds left to play. St. Rose on the outside, guarded by Phillips. Mitchell swings it to Chia. Finds Hill under the basket, kicks it back out, and Chia gets it again. Gets around Phillips, now around Dutat. Contested, hits the ground, doesn't get a call. And the basket does not fall. 24 to play in the third quarter. No shot clock for Rhode Island. who lead 37 or 41-37.
And the Tigers didn't get points on that possession, but you can see why they made it to the second round of the NCAA tournament last year. That ball movement so quick, able to get into the lane and get a good shot selection off. Doesn't work, but
DeBruz from three to end the quarter, no good. And that will bring us to time. So 30 minutes down, 10 to go here in Case, and Rhode Island hang on to the 41-37 lead with the fourth and final quarter. We'll be right back on ESPN+. Fourth and final quarter of the night underway between Rhode Island and Providence. It's the Rams with a 4-point lead over the Tigers, who get us started here. Here's Hill over Magassa, who commits the foul. Zach, similarly close games for both teams last time out. Again, we talked about it for Princeton. It was a 75-71 double overtime win versus Seton Hall. Came down to the last couple of minutes there. For Rhode Island, it was a buzzer-beater loss to Quinnipiac. Very similar story, stayed close throughout the whole game as Parker Hill is up to the line. And, well, they're going to look to prevent that same thing from happening. But that game, 9 lead changes. And it ultimately led to Quinnipiac hanging on for a dramatic win. Rhode Island will be looking to avoid a similar outcome in a very similar position as Parker Hill makes her basket. It's 41-39, so a one-possession game entering the final 10 minutes. Davis back into the game.
See Princeton going with a bit of a press here against Rhode Island. They're trying to force some more of those turnovers now that they mentioned Providence had 5 to Rhode Island's 1, and now Rhode Island has 6 to Providence's 5. So not a single turnover from the time Providence. Princeton were stuck on last night, Nathan.
I was going to correct you, Zach. I didn't want to make you feel too bad there.
Because, you said it, and I was going to correct you. I didn't correct you, and we're just stuck on yesterday. It's been a long few days.
Tisha Hyman steps up for the first time. Tisha Hyman has a pair of shots after she got fouled.
To go back to my point, Princeton, not a single turnover in the third quarter where the Rams committed 5.
First one misses. Hyman, we mentioned her in the open. Still looking for her first points this afternoon.
And only 15 minutes. There's her first point for the free throw. Good. 15 minutes, the lowest of any starter, as well as Zamora having more than her coming off the bench.
Chia to Hill, back to Chia. Trying to get around Phillips. Gets to St. Rose. Her three-point effort. Count it. It's good. Rhode Island are now tied with Princeton. It is 42 apiece here with 9 minutes to play.
And this is what went wrong for Rhode Island against NC State. Could not hold a lead against these strong opponents. And now tied up with 8:50 to go against another ranked team in the Tigers.
We talked so much about D.D. Davis. How about St. Rose? 3 for 3 from distance, Zach. 4 for 11 from the field, up to 12 points. The only Tiger in double figures. And she is now responsible for bringing this one back to a tie. Rhode Island struggled to execute down the stretch versus both NC State and versus Quinnipiac. We'll see how they respond here versus Princeton. The jumper to take the lead is no good, but Princeton collect their own rebound. Now from the corner, kicks out to St. Rose. Back to Chen, and the Tigers reset. Trying to get around Torre, and does. Bounce pass looking for Mitchell. She puts it up, but it's knocked away.
And Rhode Island does not like to call, and a tech.
Brody foul number 20 by Kamara. Third personal, team second.
It is a technical foul. That's confirmed now by the officials, as you said, Zach, on Kamara. So not ideal. The shot did not go in again. Thought she had a block on it. We'll take another look.
And she was not happy with the call.
It's that reaction, bouncing the ball in frustration, is the reason for the technical foul. For the lead, it does not fall.
Not really even bouncing it particularly hard, just kind of threw it at the ground. And
Mitchell sinks it, and Princeton have the lead.
So Princeton had the lead. 2 more for St. Rose after the foul. So Rhode Island just not executing and mental mistakes hurting them
Princeton have spent less than 2 minutes total in this game in the lead. There has been a total of 5 lead changes, but they have it now with 8 minutes and 17 seconds on the clock. There's Tammy Reese talking to Kamara, giving her some words of encouragement, likely just letting her know it's okay, calm it down. Well, that was what it looked like through her body language. She'll see a little bit of time on the bench now. Davis closest to Chen, who inbounds. Chia to St. Rose. And leads the Tigers tonight in scoring. Chia, jumper, deep two, no good. Davis comes away with the rebound. Working on Chen, going herself, puts it up, and it is good. Bounces off the rim and in. And Rhode Island come within one.
And Davis really wanted the foul call. Looked like a lot of contact on the layup, but no call. But she comes away with points.
1 point game. Chia swings it to Hill. Layup is in.
You know, Nathan, was that a no-look pass? I think Chia just kind of looked off the defenders and perfect execution like Patrick Mahomes in the pocket.
And no one saw it coming. Hill was wide open on the right side. Here's Phillips. Goes for a three, but she gets the call against her before it can go. It is a foul on Maye Torre off the ball. We'll take a look at D.D. Davis's last layup. That was the one that brought it back within one. Now it's a 3-point lead once again for the Tigers. 47-44, just over 7 to go. Corner three from Chia, no good. Rolls out, and Hyman gets the rebound. Here come the Rams. Hyman goes all the way herself, hits the bottom of the rim as the shot is knocked away. Now Tigers on the break. Here's St. Rose. Davis the closest to her. She puts in the layup, but it bounces off the rim, and it's out. Davis comes away with the rebound. Back and forth here in Kingston. Davis puts up the shot. Mitchell says no. Gets it back, and now it's Phillips.
And Maye Torre trying to tell the Rams to calm down. A lot of time left to play. Just need to get points. Need to make the most of your possessions.
Hyman around the screen from Torre. The jumper is good. Back to one.
Hyman, her first field goal of the night, now up to 3 points. You mentioned started 0 for 5, and the only point coming from a free throw now has her first field goal of the night.
14 points versus Quinnipiac. Again, broke the 1,000-point career mark. Now off the mark tonight. Took it a little longer. Now here's Hill. Bounce pass, looking for Mitchell inside. Spins around Hyman and puts it away.
And Mitchell, we mentioned, not the biggest scorer. Now up to 7 points and 7 rebounds. And as Chris mentioned earlier, 12.1 rebounds per game is 4th in the nation.
For Rhode Island fans, this final stretch feeling eerily similar as Hyman puts up a shot. She's fouled. It does not fall, so she'll head to the line. 49-46, the Rams trail by 3. We'll have another look at it here. Tisha Hyman stepping in, and Torre was the one that set the screen, got around it, and sinks it. First field goal of the night, and now she's the one that steps up to the line.
She replaces number 22, Parker Hill. Again on the line,
she is 1 for 2 tonight, 1 for 7 from the field, and 0 for 2 from deep. And her first will fall, so it brings it to within 2 points. That's part of the struggle, Zach. The last time versus Quinnipiac, these crucial moments to keep it close, Rhode Island struggled to convert. Now she's looking to go 2 for 2 to bring it back to a 1-point game, and does. So Tisha Hyman now up to 4 points in the last couple of minutes.
And Rhode Island gave away their lead because of the turnovers. 1 in the first half, 8 in the second half. And that'll be a talking point no matter what happens.
Mitchell just inside the arc. To Chia. Guarded by Hyman. Chen had a little bit of open space. Held onto the ball. Goes herself in the paint. The jumper no good. And the rebound fought. Won by St. Rose. Now Mitchell gets it from the stripe. Sinks it.
And Mitchell's really found her range here. Just putting away those close mid-ranges and floaters, and has Princeton back up by 3.
Torre hands it to Hyman. Trying to spin around Chen. Contested shot off the front of the rim. It's Dutat that comes away with the rebound. Hyman thought about 3. Now takes it. And it's good. It's just on the line, though. A 2-point basket for Tisha Hyman, her second field goal of the night. And it's a 1-point game.
Hyman's starting to really feel herself here. held the ball for a long time on that possession.
Neither team shooting, again, particularly well. Again in the second half, Princeton up to 39, so improved. Rhode Island at 42. 51-50 as we head to a timeout. Tisha Hyman largely responsible for the reason this one's so close. We'll be right back with the final minutes here on ESPN+.
On 3.
Tees. Underwear. Because your basic things should be your best things. As always, one purchased equals one donated. Visit bombas.com and get 20% off your first order.
Well, both of these teams no stranger to close finishes, and it looks like we're set for another one. 51-50, Princeton leads Rhode Island here at the Ryan Center with 4:41 on the clock. Looking to extend the lead from the line is Sky Belker, and she sinks her first. Both teams coming out on opposite ends of close results. Princeton, again, winning in overtime over Seton Hall. Rhode Island falling at the buzzer to Quinnipiac. And we have only a 3-point separation between the two sides with 4.5 to go. Here's D.D. Davis. Tisha Hyman to Sophie Phillips, and Davis gets it back. Now Torrey with it. Hyman inside for Magassa. Spins around a defender, puts it up, and it's no good, but she'll get the call to go. The foul called on Parker Hill, who got a little bit too up close and personal with Magassa there on the act of shooting, so she'll step up to the line. You mentioned this, Zach. Free throw shooting was a major point of emphasis versus Quinnipiac. It will be a major point of emphasis today. The question for Rhode Island, whether or not they'll come out on the right end of it. A 3-point lead for Princeton as Magassa steps up for 2 and sinks the first.
Yeah, as you mentioned, now down the stretch with Princeton in the bonus, it is important for Rhode Island to make sure they make every opportunity of the free throws.
Rhode Island 10 for 12 from the stripe today. Not bad at all. Princeton similarly 12 for 16. It's a 1-point game once again. Here's Parker Hill. Magassa giving her some space. She hands it off to Belker. Her steps back, hands it to Chia. Force past Hyman, kicks it back out to Chen. Goes up from the stripe, and it bounces out.
So now Rhode Island, after good defense, will have a chance to take the lead here with 3:40 to go.
A pivotal offensive possession for the Rams, as you said, Zach, with just minutes to play. Hyman gets around Chia, puts it up, and gets the call. She's fouled. The ball goes out. And for Rhode Island, once again, another trip to the line.
And so I mentioned earlier, free throw shooting, and they've been good from the line, 85%, 11 for 13, and now Hyman will shoot 2, and these are real important free throws with just about 3.5 to go.
Tisha Hyman, a 3 for 4 mark from the charity stripe tonight so far. Comes into this one off the back again of her 14-point performance. So far has 7. Make it 4 for 5, and she'll have 1 more. So tied up again. 53 apiece between the Tigers and the Rams. Chance to take the lead in what would be the 6th lead change of the afternoon. And she does. No problem. 2 for 2 from the line, and Rhode Island retake the lead. 54-53, 3.5 to go. Here's Chen. Torrey jumps, kicks it out to Mitchell. Now St. Rose. St. Rose, Mitchell, wide open space, takes a bounce and eventually turns it over. Sophie Phillips comes away on the other end for Rhode Island. She'll like to just slow things down, calls over Davis to hand it off. Tammy Reese screaming instructions to her team. Davis inside for Magassa. Back out for Hyman. goes in, right side, layup no good. Rebound gotten by Torre, but Parker Hill gets two hands on it, and both players hit the ground. It'll be a jump ball, and possession will stay with Rhode Island. Good work from both players to get hands on that rebound, but Rhode Island come away with the benefit of the call.
Just Torre, strong effort to make sure she holds on to the ball, almost had it ripped away after initially grabbing it, and a strong effort to keep it. And Tisha Hyman got a good look at the basket, but couldn't finish it. And D. Davis having trouble inbounding it.
Davis gets it back in the corner, goes up the right side. Magassa in the paint, puts it up off the rim. And we're still just within one. Princeton an opportunity with 2.5 left to take the lead. These teams only separated by 2 points last year. It also came down to the very last minute. Princeton came away 56-54 winners of that one. St. Rose, 3, good! Princeton lead by 2. Back and forth in the final minutes.
And St. Rose up to 17 points now. And 4 for 4 from behind the arc. Just has been lights out from 3.
Both Davis and St. Rose for the Rams and Tigers respectively have sunk 4 from distance. And now Tammy Reese and assistant coach Megan Schoenecker in discussion with Tisha Hyman after Princeton was called for the foul. We'll take another look at it. This was the jumper from distance from St. Rose. Again, so good from beyond the arc. All 4 of her shots from distance have sunk in with pretty much no trouble, it looked like, Zach. Now Magassa at the line again. And she'll bring Rhode Island within 1. So St. Rose leads all scorers for the Tigers with 17. The closest to her is Ellie Mitchell with 9. For the Rams, Davis up to 21, Phillips 11. And Magassa ties it up once again. Another unpredictable finish that will come down to the final possession. It certainly seems we'll have a repeat of what happened last week versus Quinnipiac as the Tigers look to turn it over. It goes out of bounds and the ball will stay with the visitors.
I think it just tipped off the hands of Hyman as they both reached for it. And so they'll stay with Princeton and a shot clock reset. And they're going to take a look at it.
Call will go to a review. Again, Rhode Island and the fans here at the Ryan Center thought that they had forced the turnover. Initial call was that it went and stayed with Princeton, and now the officials will head over to the monitor to review it. But Zach, with 1:40 left, Rhode Island have been in this position before, and earlier in the season, we'll take another look, at the call as the officials are over at the screen reviewing it. We'll take a look at who it went out of. It does look like, it's close. Looked to me like Hyman was the last one to touch it, but that is very, very close. Zach, what I was gonna say, Tammy Reese saying, especially against after the NC State game, saying our players haven't been in this situation before. This is a learning opportunity. This is something where we can learn to perform down the stretch. They've now been in those situations. We're gonna get another look at this call, an angle from behind.
I think it's all fine.
Yeah, it doesn't look like St. Rose got a touch on that, and we'll see what the officials say. Rhode Island, as I was saying, Zach, they've been in this position a couple of times now. They've been on the wrong end of it both times with 1:40 left. This is a tie game, and this is where those learning opportunities start to come into play. This is where we're really going to see what this Rhode Island team has made of, what they did in practice this week off the back of that Quinnipiac game, knowing they had a tough Princeton team coming in. And this is really anyone's game here. The review taking a while. Now the officials step back onto the floor. The call will be confirmed as we expected, Zach, and as the replay showed fairly clearly, Tisha Hyman the last to touch it, and the ball will stay with Princeton. So with 1:40 left, we'll have the first chance to retake the lead.
Now, also something we may have been looking at is the shot clock. If Tisha Hyman ever had real possession of the ball, and I believe they're going to say she did not. So the clock is now at 16 for the Tigers.
Mitchell with loads of space to work from distance. 1:34 on the clock. St. Rose, jumper from deep 2 territory. It's no good, and Magassa comes away with the rebound. And they're going to say it went off 10 and Magassa. No, they're not. The official says, sorry, my bad, and points the other way. So Rhode Island get the ball back.
The initial call, she looked like she was going to point Rhode Island ball, then flipped her hand around and pointed Princeton ball, and then switched it again and said, my fault, it's Rhode Island ball, and they're going to review it, I believe, again.
Yeah, it did look like to me, Zach, again, I missed the initial call, but Tenon Magassa came down with the rebound, then it went out of bounds. So we're going to get another look at it here. Look at Magassa getting hands on it. Hard to see the ball from that angle. That is a tough one, Zach.
That is just so tough. It looks like it goes off of both players.
Well, that's what they're reviewing right now. We're going to take another look from another angle. Again, a look at Magassa fighting for the rebound. Right now in the hands of Magassa. Looking at that right hand of the Tiger.
I think it's off Magassa there. Right there.
Right
it's
there.
Off
it's going to be off Magassa. That's what it seems like from our replay when you really slow it down, but a very close call. I don't blame the official for having to go back on that one and really think about it. And now the call will go Princeton's way. So the initial call from the official is confirmed before they switched it, then went to review it. It'll stay with the Princeton Tigers again here. Valuable time bleeds off the clock with under a minute and a half to go. And we're still tied at 56. Both teams in mid-30s in terms of field goal shooting percentage on the afternoon. It really hasn't fluctuated all too much in this second half. Here's Chen. Davis the closest to her. Screen set by Hill. Chen finds space. Kicks it out to Rose. St. Rose back to Chen. Going through the middle. Jumper is no good. And Torrey comes away with the rebound. Rams can come down the other end, but they turn it over. Here's St. Rose, a costly effort. Torrey right into the hands of Madison St. Rose, and Princeton will eat valuable time once again off the clock. Under a minute to go.
In such a good defensive possession, you just don't want to give the ball away.
3-point effort coming from Beckler. No good.
Rhode Island timeout. So Reese takes a timeout, and so the Rams will have about 17 seconds between shot clock and game clock. So they will not have last shot after the timeout, but two good defensive possessions from the Rams there, even with the turnover from Torrey. They hold Princeton and will have a chance to take the lead late.
We are tied at 56, under a minute to go. Both teams in the bonus. Rhode Island almost losing it with what would have been a crucial turnover at the wrong time. We mentioned it, only one in the first half. They're up to 10 now here in the second. They have not cleaned up the ball well when they have had to, but they still have a tie game. Came down to the wire versus Quinnipiac. It will come down to the wire today, Zach. And we've talked about this over and over and over again, but that is the storyline. The Rams have been tested down the stretch, and so far, they have not been able to come out on the better end of these games against here their second-ranked opponent of the season. A crucial, I would have to say non-conference slate, at least defining minute of basketball action here at the Ryan Center. And we'll take a look at D.D. Davis, star of the show, season-high 21 points, 4 for 6 from beyond the arc. 8 for 16 from the field. Was a large part of the first half lead for the Rams, showing she can score both in the paint and from distance. These are some of her points through pressure. And Zach, she has just been so good for Rhode Island.
And so you mentioned these non-conference games, and I mentioned earlier, this is why Rhode Island schedules these games. NC State, Princeton, they want to play teams that are really good and a chance at an at-large bid in an NCAA tournament. Now, their goal is always to win the conference, 2022, 2023 regular season co-champions, but couldn't get it done in the postseason.
A loss here for Rhode Island would see them fall to 2 consecutive home losses for the first time in 2 seasons. Here's Simon trying to prevent that. Her jumper is good. Rhode Island take the lead. Can they hold it is the question. And half a minute to go.
Quick enough to where Princeton will not have last shot. There is 2 seconds between the shot and game clock.
Chen down by 2. Here come the Tigers. Now Velke. Mitchell drops it, and it'll go Rhode Island's way. A crucial turnover. Mitchell can't handle the ball in the paint. Rhode Island call a timeout, and they're up by 2 with what might just be the final possession.
So now it's up to Princeton to foul. Rhode Island would obviously be able to hold. And we'll take a look at Tisha Hyman basket. Gets the ball from Magassa. Crossover move. Working on Chen. Just floater up and good. Electrifies the crowd here. And another angle from behind the other basket. We just swish, nothing but net.
We talked about Hyman didn't get off to a fast start. Now up to 11 points on the afternoon, and that could just be the one that does it. 17.9 on the clock. 58-56 is Rhode Island's lead over the number 25 ranked Princeton Tigers. And this is one of the most important possessions of Rhode Island's early season here, Zach.
And we mentioned they've had struggles late in games. They fell to NC State, a ranked opponent, number 14. Now up on number 25 Princeton. They fell to a 1-4 Quinnipiac team. And so now it'll be big-time free throws for Sophie Phillips.
Phillips fouled, and she'll hit the line. Madison St. Rose, the one to hit it. And this is where, Zach, we talked about the free throw shooting. We talked about the percentages. Rhode Island tonight, 88% from the line, 15 for 17. Phillips, who has 11 points, has not had a chance to shoot yet. And she does. She makes it 1 of 2, so a 3-point lead now for Rhode Island.
So now she makes this one. Obviously, Rhode Island will basically let Princeton shoot the 3. Do not want to foul in that chance unless you want to foul them to let them only shoot 2.
2 for 2 from Sophie Phillips. It is a 4-point lead, 17 seconds left. And we'll head to another timeout. Zach, Rhode Island, notably better down the stretch so far. Still 17.5 seconds left to go. They are tied 2-2 with the all-time series with Princeton. We mentioned it a little bit. Came down to the end last time they met, 56-54 win. Last time these two teams played here in the Ryan Center, it was a 61-53 win for Rhode Island. So the last 2 games have been split, and Rhode trying to protect their home court here again. They lost only once here last season.
And so Rhode Island as well are 1-0 against Ivy League teams this year. Brown earlier in the year, and they will look to dominate the Ivies, and they will also face against Harvard on December 28th. But right now, big-time moments here for this Rhode Island defense, up by 4.
Tammy Reese, in 5 seasons in charge of the Rams, has only lost in this building 11 times, and that includes last time out versus Providence. Versus Quinnipiac, as you said, Zach. We continue to be stuck on last night's game on the men's side. But for Reese and her team, it's really been a fortress here in the Ryan Center. 1 loss last time out versus Quinnipiac, 1 loss last season versus UMass, and only 2 losses the season before. It is a struggle here to come and win on the road. Princeton have brought them down to the final minute, but Rhode Island up by 4 with a possession left. Just need to close this one out. The Tigers with a crucial 17 seconds here. A loss would see them fall to 5-3.
That's a kickball against Sophie Phillips. Just trying to keep the Tigers at bay with 17 to go.
Takes about a 1/10 of a second off the clock.
Well, time is time, but they add it back on.
Inbound finds Chen. St. Rose getting through Phillips. St. Rose gets it. 3-point effort off the rim and out. That could do it. 5 seconds left. Rhode Island still fighting for possession. Hill wins it back. Her layup is good. 2.2 now. Timeout for Princeton. A couple of seconds left. It's a 2-point game. Rhode Island could have closed it out there with the rebound. Couldn't quite win it after St. Rose missed the 3. And it was Parker Hill who got it and put it back up for 2. So 60-58. We'll take another look, Zach, at the play that did it.
I believe Magassa got the rebound and kind of just chucked it back in play, not wanting to fall out of bounds.
It was a nice job from Parker Hill to recognize she had the space. 2 seconds left. Anything could happen here, Zach.
We've seen it so much in this building that things change so quickly. And Rhode Island just needs to get the ball in possession off the inbound to anybody. All of these players can shoot free throws effectively. So it'll be about getting it in and making sure you make at least 1 of 2 to force a 3-pointer.
Absolutely, Zach. 2 seconds to go. It's a Rhode Island timeout. 60-58 the score. The Rams looking for their first ever win over a ranked opponent in 5 years. Under Tammy Reese, the star of the game, Dee Davis. The start of the second half, though, Tisha Hyman has come up big when it's been needed. Her jumper from mid-range there. She had a couple of crucial shots. Didn't get her first field goal until the second half, but put the Rhode Island Rams ahead with just minutes to go. And they haven't let the lead go from there. You can see it there, 30 seconds left. That is the one that gave Rhode Island the lead, and they are holding on to it by a thread. It'll be Hyman to inbound. 2 seconds to go. Could this end it? She gets it. There is a foul that goes against Rhode Island. Sophie Phillips hits the deck. It's an offensive foul on Tenin Magassa. And this is not going to be as comfortable as the Rams want it to be. They cannot close it out on the inbound. We'll take another look.
And this is something you see. It's just teams trying to draw the charge. And now Princeton will call timeout. And they will have a shot at a 3 to win the game. And we just saw against Quinnipiac, Brown fell on a buzzer beater right under the net on a loose ball broken play. And now Princeton has a chance to either go for 2 for the tie or a 3 for the win. Easily enough time to inbound and shoot.
For Rhode Island, a loss here certainly would be heartbreaking, especially after the way it went versus Quinnipiac. A hold down for the win would see them finally come out on the better end of a game that really comes down the stretch. The final seconds, Tammy Reese locked in, as is her team. It is the final seconds of the battle between the Princeton Tigers and the Rhode Island Rams.
So Princeton will have to see what kind of look they get here. What will they go with? They could obviously just try and get it under the hoop, lay it in, force overtime. Or to get it out to Madison St. Rose, who has been lethal from behind the arc, 4 or 5, and trying to go to 3. They'll go down low, tipped away by Torre. 0.3, they'll stay Princeton ball, Nathan.
It is coming down to it now. Princeton will have less than a second to throw up a shot and try to tie this game.
Now, Nathan, I think the only thing to do here is just try and tip one in. I don't think you have enough time to really set up a shot.
Rhode Island setting up for the most important defensive possession of their season. And it looks like we'll take yet another timeout. So 0.3 on the clock. Teams head back to the bench.
See if they're going to possibly review who the ball went off of. I believe it was off of Torre.
Yep.
But
You're
they're going to
absolutely
take a
right,
look.
Zach. So it won't be a timeout called. It will just be a review. We've seen a couple of these so far, and the officials just want to see, well, if Rhode Island gets the benefit of this call, that would pretty much be game done and dusted. But we're not sure. The call on the court goes the way of Princeton, and they're going to confirm it.
That's confirmed. It'll say Princeton ball.
A brief check keeps the ball with the Tigers and gives them a lifeline. It's not much of one, but they will have a chance to tie this game. Crowd getting loud at the Ryan Center. 0.3 on the clock. Inbound. There it goes. That's the buzzer.
Hold on. The refs are waving it off. Because I don't believe it actually touched anybody. As Sears checked in, I believe the clock just went. So they're going to review to see if it ticked off of a Ram finger. So Tisha Hyman is saying it deflected off of a fingertip, which would mean the clock would run. If not, they will replay it because the ball has to touch a hand for the clock to run.
Game-defining review. We are going to take a look at it. As Zach explained, the argument from the officials is that it did not touch anyone before the buzzer went off, meaning the clock ran prematurely.
I believe it tipped off of Anel Dutat's hands.
Well, the question is, did the buzzer go first? It's very close. That is close. Yeah, the question certainly, Zach, I think, is Dutat. If it gets past her, the buzzer goes off. They're in a deep, deep review here. All three officials huddled around the board. Well, the call...
I believe the call will stand. Princeton has everybody back on the court, but I believe it tips off of Dutat's hands, and then the clock runs out.
We will wait and see. The Rams huddled around Tammy Reese. They're going to retake the court now, so the players are going to operate on the assumption that this call will be overturned and there will still be 0.3 on the clock. A little bit of confusion between the score table and the officials, but they are handling it now. And Zach, from the angle we saw, very tough to tell, and it looks like they're getting a similar angle just from what we can see on the top half of that board. And they're still taking their time. Again, game-defining decision. They're going to tell Tammy Reese to step back. And that'll do it. The call.